Welcome back, everybody. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live, not side split stretching. Oh man, forgot the point of the show. I got right into my regular muscle memory, my regular talking memory. We are doing some light joint work to warm up this morning, and we are going to slowly work our way into some smoothness, movement, and we are going to do a little bit of back posture and backside of the body strengthening to help stand up nice and tall and straight, and then do some of that sitting posture that we be building up. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. We're starting with some gentle stuff. We're gonna start with some finger strengthening. I want you to open your hands as wide as you can, and then I want you to make a fist. It doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to make a hard, intense fist like you're gonna actually punch somebody. Just we're trying to get your joints to warm up. All right. Open up those hands wide. Make a fist. Open. 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 Fist. Get your joints working. Next, we're gonna do some wrist circles. All right. When we do the wrist circles, what is important is that you're getting through your full range of motion. You don't have to go through these as fast as possible. What is actually important is making sure you get a full range of motion. All right? Bring your wrist all the way through and switching the other side. There's lots of different ways to do wrist circles. Right now, we're using one hand to move the other hand, and that might be important for you if you don't have the muscles to actually be able to slowly move your hands through that range of motion on your own. All right? So, experiment if you need to do it one way or the other way. As long as you're trying your best to get your maximum range of motion, that's all that matters. We're doing about 10 of these in each direction, so remember to reverse. And when your wrists are feeling a little smoother, feeling a little looser, we're ready to move up the body. We're going to move into the elbow. All right? The elbow joint, its main job is to do this thing, right? Lifting your hand up to your shoulders. But what we're going to do to stretch it out, not stretch it out, what we're going to do to do some elbow circles is going to look like this. We're going to bring our hands in front. We're going to bring it around. We're going to do some chicken wings, right? And we're going to bring the hands all the way through. So when we do a couple of these elbow circles, get a little tiny bit more range of motion out of your joints. And that is what these are for. And when I say out of your joints, I mean out of your elbow joint. All right. Once you're done, about 10, try to relax the shoulders. They don't have to be working so hard. If you are doing this for the first time, it's going to be really, really tiring because your muscles are going to be confused. They'll be like, what is going on? That's okay. Don't worry about that. Next, we're going to go in reverse. All right. We're going to bring the hands to our chest, into our armpits. We're going to push back behind us and bring the arm around. All right. Same thing as before, we're just going backwards. Try to relax the shoulders a little bit. Remember, this is light joint work. You are not trying to super tire yourself out or anything crazy like that. Alright? So, once done, some elbow circles. We're going to move on into our shoulders, arm circles. Alright? I want you to find a nice comfortable position. Stand up nice and tall, and let's get into some arm circles. Bring the arm back. Oh, we're gonna just do 2 rounds of 10. 10 backwards, 10 forwards. You can point your thumb up, back behind you, and then rotate. You can use the back of your hand and then rotate. You can rotate your arms, do crazy things. How your arm is angled, not that important, but you can experiment and see if there's anything that feels funny or you want to work on. Whew. I feel like we've done 10 on this arm. Let's go forward. Forward. We're just working our arms through some range of motion. Nothing crazy. This should not be super intense. If your arms are tired, try to relax a little bit. This isn't about contracting your muscles as hard as you can. This isn't about smacking down like a volleyball or something. You're just trying to bring your arms through some of that joint's range of motion, or as much of the range of motion as you can. All right? Whew, that's about 10. Let's go and move on to the other side. Going backwards. 1, 2, 3. If you hear a light clicking or something in that shoulder, in the arm, that is usually okay and relatively normal. All right. If it's not causing you pain, it's probably all right. 8, 9. Because we're trying to keep this very gentle, right? We're not trying to whip our hands through as fast as humanly possible. We are not trying to smash anything. We're just trying to get our arm through that range of motion. So this should be very gentle on the body. All right. Once you've done about 10 in both directions, we're going to move on to some shoulder stuff. All right. Hopefully, when you were doing this, you weren't cranking up your shoulder like this and going, because now your shoulders would be very, very, very tight. But we're going to do some shrugs. We're going to lift our shoulders up as high as we can. We're going to make the neck disappear, and then we're going to relax. We're going to drop that, and we're going to come on up and drop. When you do these, I don't want your shoulders to be all the way forward. I want you to try to bring them back a little bit and use some of the upper back muscles when you go. This is slightly different from the other things that we've done. We're just waking up those upper back muscles instead of focusing on moving through the joint right now. Alright, once you're done like 10 of those, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna move on into the neck. Right? The neck is designed to move in like 3 different directions. One of them is looking directly to your left and looking directly to your right. So let's go ahead and do that. Rotate your head. Keep it nice and level right here. We're going to rotate to the left. Boom. Try to keep your chin at the same height all the way through when you do this. Try not to, start rotating your head and doing like a bobblehead thing. All right. Look all the way to the right. Then to the left. Then to the right. You don't have to go fast. It's not explosive. Take it as slow, as chill as you want. All right. Remember, this is about the joints. It's not about trying to contract the muscles as hard as you can and anything crazy like that. We're just warming up. We're starting our day. Nice and gentle movement. All right. All right. Continuing from side to side and breathing. If you have something going on in any of the joints that we've been working on so far, or any other joint in your body, and it's feeling a little uncomfortable, feeling a little tender, feel free to do more of these gentle joint movements. All right. Sometimes your body just needs a little extra practice, a little extra use of that joint. There's overuse injuries, right? People who have weird elbow things, weird wrist things from typing on computers all day, every day. But then there's also discomfort that comes from when you don't use your joints, right? And gentle movement like this can do a lot to help protect the joints, keep them lubricated, keep them feeling good. All you have to do is some gentle, well, wrist rotations, or I mean, rotations for the whatever joint that you actually need to work on. All right, we've looked left and right a whole bunch of times. Let's change it up. The neck is also capable of going up and down. All right, we want to work on bringing your chin down to your chest. If you can't reach right now, that's okay. Just work towards it. Look up. I want you to try to look slightly back behind you if you can, and then look back down, and then look up. And then look down. For a lot of us, this might not be nearly as easy because our muscles are either tight or sore or tender. A lot of the muscles in the back of your neck happen to be uncomfortable from slouching, from texting, from being at a computer. That is pretty typical of most of us. And this might feel quite nice. Just some intentional movement, even though you use your neck muscles every single day, all times a day, other than maybe when you're laying down, sleeping. This could feel real nice. All right? Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Keep on going. Again, this is not supposed to be intense. This is not supposed to be fast. Don't try to whip your neck through crazy ranges of motion ultra intensely. That is how you get like whiplash. We're just trying to get your joints to move through as much range of motion as possible, maybe get a light stretch for your neck muscles, right? That's back and forth. We're going to use some of those motions in a little bit for some cat-cow and other things, so you don't have to feel like you had to have gotten every single little bit of this movement out of your system. And we're going to keep going. Right? The next thing we're going to do is a little bit of leaning from side to side. It's basically like bending to the side, right? But it's going to look more like your head is just tilted to the side. What I want you to do is once again sit up nice and straight and tall. Keep your shoulders relaxed and down, and I want you to lean the head that way. Think of it as as if your body is bending this way, except, your neck is kind of short compared to your whole entire spine. So just lean slightly that way. All right. I don't want you to rotate the head. This is not bobblehead world, right? We're leaning directly to the right. And then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to lean directly to the left. We're going to get a tiny bit of a stretch as we go. We're going to get a little bit more range of motion as we loosen up slowly. And hopefully you're able to bring your ear on either side closer down to your shoulder. All right? Just like before, just like everything that we've done so far, this is not explosive. This shouldn't feel super intense. We want to relax. We want to work through our range of motion and give our joints some love as we wake up this morning. All right? Whew. Let's keep going. Once you're done, 10, 15, 20. If you feel like you need more on your neck, make sure to come back to these, right? If you're just at your computer and you're pretending to work or something, you can just throw in a couple of these. Help loosen up your neck. All right. We're going to move down the body now. We're going to move down into the spine. So we're going to need to come back into standing. What we're going to do is a little bit of thoracic rotation. All right. What that's going to look like is something like this. I want you to take your shoulders. I want you to rotate them. And I want you to bring your upper body into a slight rotation. All right. And I want you to use the other shoulder. Boom. I want you to relax your arms so that when your shoulders are rotating, your arms kind of just follow through and swing around a little bit. All right. This isn't about swinging your arms. This isn't about going wee, wee, wee. It's about taking your shoulders and bringing them to the other side. Ugh. And if your arms come with you, great. All right. We're going to pick up that speed just a little bit and see if you can get the arms to almost float from side to side as you rotate. And remember, we're just gently rotating. Whew. See if you can increase that range of motion a little bit. Look over your shoulder on each side. Rotate your neck with it so your neck's getting a little bit more. Again, not supposed to be intense. We're not whipping it. Just gently working through some spinal rotation. Whew. All right. Hopefully, your spine is feeling a little bit looser than when we first started. We're going to keep on going. We're going to do some cat-cow looking stuff. All right. If you want, actually, before we do that, we're going to do some side bends. All right. Your spine is designed to move in a lot of different directions. One of them is this rotation that we were just doing, right? Nice and gentle. The other one is side bend. If you run your hand along the side of your body and you slowly let your hand drop down while you're going to the side, you're going to feel a nice stretch in the spine here or in the side of your body, and your spine will get a little bit of bending going on the left and right side. All right? You don't have to stick your hand only on your thigh to come straight down, but I recommend it to start to make sure your body is going straight down on either side. Oftentimes, we start doing some rotation. We're like, oh no, I'm gonna bring my hand down, and then you're really bending this way instead of letting the spine bend directly to the side. If you're having a little bit of trouble trying to keep your body straight, you can scoot your back up to a wall, and that way, if your shoulder blades are basically rubbing against the wall the whole time, you're probably focusing on the side bend. All right. When one shoulder blade is off and one shoulder blade is on, you're probably starting to twist. You're starting to rotate, and that's not what we want. All right. If this is feeling like it's not challenging enough for you, you can extend one arm. You can let gravity help pull you down a little bit deeper, and whew, keep on going, doing some side bends. Just like everything we've done so far, this is not explosive. This shouldn't be super fast or intense. Once you come on over, inhale, exhale. So you can sink a little bit deeper into that side bend. Inhale, exhale. Whew. Right. If anything feels crazy, if it's feeling like you got a sharp pain anywhere, feel free to stop the movement. All right. If you otherwise got a relatively healthy spine, these should be fine for you. Cool? Alright. Once you've done a bunch of these, you're feeling that nice stretch in the side of your body. We're going to move on into some forward and backwards bending. Alright, nothing crazy. We're going to do some cat-cow to get that stool out of the way. I want you to bring your hands down to the floor, your knees down to the ground. I want you to start by sticking your belly button down towards the ground. All right? The belly button. You're going to automatically put an arch in your spine if your belly button is going down. I want you to lift your chest. I want you to lift your head and look up so your neck is getting some of that movement again. And your spine is bending backwards. Now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to tuck the chin, but after we lift our mid back up as high as we can and as deeply into that stretched out position as we can, then we tuck the chin. All right, woo. Feel that stretch in. Come on back. Belly button down, chest up, chin up. Woo. Other way. Mid back up as high as we can. Push through those shoulders. Lift and tuck the chin. Up. Look down. And keep going. You only need a couple of these, but since we've been doing like 10 of everything so far, let's do a bunch. Whew. The cat-cow is really good for helping to loosen up your spine, especially if you just woke up, you were stiff, you were waddling around like a drunk penguin, and you're like, and you didn't want to deal with it because you're like, oh, maybe it'll go away by itself. If you spend, it can't be more than a minute, 30 seconds doing some cat-cow, you don't need that many, but if you work yourself through as much range of motion as you got access to, real quick, it can help you stop waddling around like a drunk penguin right away. Will you get stronger? No, probably not. But will you be able to move a little bit smoother right now? Absolutely. All right. I think we've done 10. If you are ready, your spine is feeling a little bit looser, we're going to move on down the spine. We're going to move on to our hips. All right, we're going to do some hip circles. I want you to keep your legs about hips width apart, more or less. And I want you to slowly pop that hip out. Boom. Slowly come on through into that circle. And you might feel in your hamstrings. You might feel in the front of your hip. You might feel in the side of your hip. Slowly work on those hip circles. Come on through. Once you're done, about 10, we'll just go the other direction. All right? Just like everything we've done. This is not explosive. This shouldn't feel intense, but we do want to work through as much range of motion as you can. All right? So lean into those hips. And let's switch directions. One. You can always put a slight bend in your knees. For a lot of people, that'll be a lot more comfortable, a lot safer. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. All right. Shake out your body. Hopefully, you're feeling a little less stiff, a little less tense, feeling very relaxed because we've been slowly moving through all of our joints and loosen up all your muscles at the same time. All right. We're going to move down from the hips to the knees. The main job of the knees is to do this, right? To lift your heel towards your butt and straighten out your leg. But your knee has a little bit of wiggle room going from side to side as well. We're going to try to incorporate all of those pieces together into knee circles, all right? I want you to keep your legs about a little closer than hips width apart. You can almost bring them touching if you want. We're going to put our hands on our thighs. We're going to lean this, we're going to bend the knee ever so slightly, so like this. And we're going to try to keep the feet flat on the ground while we lean off to the side just a little bit. All right. Then we're going to bring that around in a circle. These are very easy to mess up, so be very careful. Remember, should not hurt, should not be intense, should not be explosive. What we're trying to do is keep the feet flat on the ground. If they come off completely like this, you're just wasting your time. All right, keep them flat. Work on that knee rotation. We're doing a couple of gentle circles. If this motion is brand new for you, it should be for most people, unless you've been on this show. Take your time. There's absolutely no rush. Experiment with it. Play with it. Hold on to something for balance if you need to. And slowly work on that knee joint. Alright. Once you've done about 10, you've gotten a little smoother at the motion. We're going to go reverse. To the left and back again. Or, I guess, depending on however the cameras are mirroring or not mirroring the footage. I'm doing my right leg, but for you guys, I might be doing my left leg. Alright. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew! Hopefully, you learned something new about your knees today, and you give them a little bit of love. We're gonna move on to our ankles, and then we're gonna do our feet. Alright? Ankle circles could look a little bit like this. You can sort of just have your foot down and then bring the rest of your leg through as much range of motion as possible, always applying a little bit of light pressure to bring your ankles through this motion. Alright? If you got the ability, you can maybe just do it like this without putting your feet on the ground. But if you're struggling a little bit and you're like, wow, I have no idea how to use these muscles and I don't want to slip and then break my ankle or something, you can always come into a seated position. You can do ankle circles very manually with your hands. Alright, we're going to slowly work our way through the ankle joint. Help the ankles loosen up. Sometimes when people are sleeping under the covers or something, the feet get pulled down like this. Your toe is kind of pointing, your calf is tense, and your ankles get really stuck. if you are such a person, waking up first thing in the morning might be really uncomfortable for your calves. That is unfortunate, but that's what these are for, alright? Ankle circles. And once you've done a bunch in one direction, start working your way through the other direction. Once you kind of understand how these feel, how you're getting through that circle, I mean, it's not really a circle, it's kind of a circle. It looks a little bit weird, right? But once you understand how these feel, you can start experimenting with the other ones, right? The one where we were standing and we're going wee all the way around, or even using your own muscles to do the whole thing. All right? Whew. Other leg. Switch. Switch, 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 switch. Use the floor. Help bring yourself through as much range of motion as possible. Use your hands to bring yourself through as much range of motion as possible when seated. And finally, if you understand, you figure it out, you can use your own muscles to do all the work. All right? Ankle circles. Switch directions. Remember, when you are first starting to do these, your body generally is going to be like, what the heck is going on? This is crazy. And when you're learning this move for the first time, even though I keep telling you it's supposed to be gentle, it's supposed to be smooth, your body's going to be confused. It's going to send off a whole bunch of extra neurons firing, trying to get you to do the thing, and you're going to waste a lot of energy. All right, that's normal. Happens all the time. Your shoulders are probably on fire when you're doing like random things because your muscles are just confused. Don't worry about it. Relax, breathe, and when you can, try to chill as much as possible. All right. All right. Those are ankles. We're gonna move on to some feet stuff. All right. Your feet, just like your hands, your toes are able to do all this thing, all the stuff that your fingers are able to do. Right. Let's start with trying to lift the toes as high off the ground as possible. So put your weight in the ball of your feet in the heel, so they're not in the toes, and lift them. Lift the toes. If you want, you can lean your butt up against the wall so you don't have to, use your toes for anything at the moment. And we're going to bring them down, relax. Then we're going to make fists. All right. Just like what we did before. You probably weren't here because there's like 3 people on the show when we started with the hands. With the hands, we're opening our hands, making a fist. Opening hands, making a fist. You don't have to clench your fists. You don't have to go anything crazy like that. You can just work your hands through that full range of motion available at your fingers. All right. We're going to do the same with our toes at the same time. Open up, lift those toes off the ground. Clench your fist with your toes. Open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. I'm going real fast. You don't have to go fast. Take your time. We are working our feet. The reality is there's way more feet bones and hand bones than we're going to be able to work on. But the toes are designed to move. They're designed to do things, and so we're going to move them a bit. All right. What else? We did opening the toes, making foot fists. We're going to run a little tiny experiment, then we're going to move on. All right. I want you to try to see if you can grip the floor with your toesies, right? And I want you to see if you can pull the toes forward. And not pull the toes forward. Grip the floor, pull yourself forward using just your toes. You might not be super comfortable. You might not want to do very many reps of these, but you should experiment, right? You might be able to slowly get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to you. That's basically what I'm doing, describing myself. All right, my toes are tired. That's it. Your feet are capable of a whole bunch of stuff. Chances are you never train them. We're probably moving out of the gentle joint stuff at this point because I just put my whole entire body weight into my toes to try and pull myself forward. So I just want you to know that is entirely possible for your feet to do. They should have plenty of strength to do cool stuff. If you want, we can wrap this up with a couple of toe stretches right here. All right. If you lean back just a little bit, you can bring your toes up in front like so. You can do this against the wall. If you bring your foot up against the wall and just stab those toes into the wall, That will also work just fine. Make sure you do both legs and experiment. All right. What about the other side? Can you bend your toes the other way? Right? We were making toe fists, foot fists. The flexibility to make foot fists, you can test this way too. All right. Ooh, I just cracked the toe. It felt kind of nice. All right. Enough with the feet stuff. Let's move into back and posture. How are we doing on time? Oh, it's 9:30. Great. All right. So for the rest of the show, now that our joints have been loosened up and you're starting to feel a little smoother, and now your toes have been challenged and your feet are tired, we're going to work on our back. We're going to work on some posture. All right. We got 4 main exercises that we're going to do. One of them is a Superman. This looks ridiculous. Let's get onto the ground. One of them is a Superman type looking position. All right. We're going to lift our backs off the ground. We're going to lift our legs off the ground. The second one is a glute bridge. We're going to contract our glutes. We're going to put our heels on the ground and we're going to stay up. We're going to hold. Third one is a hollow back hold. Hollow body hold, excuse me. And there are versions of this. You can just do a tabletop if you're familiar with Pilates. You can experiment with your arms to figure out how you want to use your core. And then after that, we're going to do the fourth and most awful movement of all time to help undo some of the craziness in our upper back. This move is called wall angels. We're going to come back to a wall. We're going to stick our shoulders against the wall. We're going to elbow the wall. We're going to lift our hands up into the air. We're going to move around while contracting these muscles in the upper back like crazy, and it's really hard. We'll get into more detail on that later. But the whole chain is to help you strengthen your back muscles, help you get your glutes to wake up to help you do stuff so that you don't let your low back compensate and suffer for it. And that's it. That's all you need to know. We're ready to begin. Come on down to the floor. Lay down. Relax. Ugh. Whew. All right. From here, let's get started with raising the upper body off the floor. Something like this. All right. We got lots of different versions of this movement. If you want, you can lay down, put your forehead on your forearms, and you can go inhale and exhale. That will get your spine firing and help you lift. All right. If you want to make it harder, you can always extend your arms out in front and go inhale, exhale. You can do whatever you want. All right. Just the general movement is all that matters. All right. We're gonna do 5 of these to help warm up in our first round, and then we're gonna do some leg stuff from here. All right. Let's go. Inhale up. Exhale down. Whew, man. Yeah, I definitely need this warm up round. Inhale up. Exhale down. Whew, that's 2. Let's keep going. Inhale up. Exhale down. That's 3. Inhale up. Exhale down. That's 4. Keep going. Inhale up. Exhale down. Whew, that is 5. All right. Next, we're going to move our legs up. All right. Now, if you want, you can really rest your head on your forearms. And I'm going to put on my glasses so I can see what is going on with the rest of my body. Is my feet visible? Yeah, more or less. All right, cool. Sick. Head down. We're going to flex our low back. We're going to flex our glutes. We're going to flex our hamstrings. We're going to lift our lower body up off the ground. And your hips are going to feel a lot of pressure. All right, so find a comfortable spot for your hips. Maybe grab a cushion if you need to. And let's get ready to lift. Inhale up. Hold for a second. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. If you've never done a motion like this before, this might feel absolutely crazy, and that is okay. Alright, just take your time. Try your best. If you're shaking and going flopping all over the place, that is normal when you're starting out because your body doesn't know how to do it. You're just vibrating because all the muscles are going, is it this one? Is it this one? What about this one? Is it this one? And that's okay. Alright? Your body will get more efficient as you do more. That is 5 of them. We're gonna turn around now and work on some glute bridges. All right, let's go. Turn around. Glute bridges. So the reason why we care about glute bridges is because oftentimes when you're sitting a bunch, your glute muscles are basically getting no use whatsoever. And when they get no use whatsoever, they turn off. They stop contributing. They stop doing things. Except your glutes are the most biggest, craziest chunk of muscle on your whole entire body. So we want them to be doing stuff. We want them to be helping because why else are they the biggest muscle in your body? So we're gonna do some glute bridges. We're gonna help remind the glutes to help us with our spine. And let's go. Bring your heels up towards your butt. Lift your hips up into the air. Lift, 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 lift. Power through. Feel that contraction in your glutes. Poke your butt. Make sure it's all nice and tense. And 30 seconds. Let's go. 30. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Don't sag. Flex those glutes. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Flex harder. Contract more muscles. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Remember, you can always poke your butt to double check. You can also poke your low back. You can poke your hamstrings to see if everything's contributing a little bit. 0, that's it. Whew. Let your droop. Let your droop. Let your butt droop. Let your butt hang. Drop to the floor. Shake out your legs. My right hamstring is feeling a little crampy, so I'm gonna give it a little extra movement. Stop cramping. Stop cramping. Let's do a little cramping leg kick dance thing, and we're gonna move on into some core work. All right. We got the glutes to fire. Now let's get the front side of the body to fire a little bit and help us keep our posture nice and straight and tall at the core. All right. So next, I want you to bring your low back down on the ground so that there's no space. And you might want to bring your knees up towards your chest to help you with that. Do a little wiggle. Find out how to position your spine so there's no space underneath your low back. And this turns into a core exercise, right? If you extend your legs out in front of you a little bit, that is going to start challenging the core. And then if you lift your upper body up a little bit, that's going to start challenging the core, all right? Find a variation that's challenging for you, and let's go. 30 seconds, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come down. Oh, that was some ab work. Okay, relax for a second. We're gonna get into some wall angels. Give me a second. Let me fix my glasses. Whew. All right, it's time to do the worst part of this whole entire show. We're doing some wall angels. All right, wall angels is basically the exact opposite of slouching. And because we slouch so much, spend like 8 hours a day slouching, this is gonna be awful. And we'll talk about why right now. When we do wall angels, we're going to bring our elbows back. We're gonna be with our back against the wall. So we're gonna elbow the wall. All right. When you do this and you hold this position, a whole bunch of these upper back muscles are going to contract really hard and hang out in that contracted position. All right. You don't have to look like this, but we're going to contract some of those upper back muscles. Those upper back muscles, for the majority of us, are going to be a little tiny bit weak, all right? Because most of us spend most of our time in this position where they're all stretched out. We're going to work really hard to contract them, and they might not like that, all right? Just a fair warning. The other thing we're going to do is try to stretch out our chest muscles a little bit, all right? One of the other cons of slouching is when your shoulders round over and you get into this hunched over position, you get real tight right here. because you're in a shortened position for your chest muscles all day, all the time. All right, that is a lot of different things to overcome, and that's why wall angels are going to be miserable. Right now that we know the background, now we know the context, we're gonna go suffer. Let's go back up to the wall. Ow! I just healed the wall. That hurt. All right, let's continue. I want you to put your low back up against the wall, just like we did for the floor when we did the ab stuff. I want your whole entire low back on the ground. Nothing is coming off. All right. This is important too, because you're going to be really tempted to stick your hips out this way so that you can do the next step, but don't do that. All right. Focus on keeping the back on the wall. Next, we're elbowing our enemies in the face. That's one. That's two. And when your elbows are up, we're going to rotate the arms so that you're trying your bestest to get your wrist to go over here. Touch the wall too. Go. For most of you, you might be able to do one side, but there's almost no shot you're able to do both sides. That is why this is hard. Alright? So just try your best. And we're going to add a little bit of movement. The reason why we're moving is because we want to get those muscles to contract a little bit while we're actually doing things. We can't just be walking around going, this is good posture, and not, actually move your body. So we're going to get our shoulders contracting, trying to bring our posture back into a nice looking position. And we're going to rotate our arms up, and we're going to move our arms up and down. Oh, this is going to feel absolutely crazy and not fun at all. And it's not fun because you're barely supporting any weight, right? You're just barely just trying to lift your arms up, and you're feeling a whole bunch of craziness in your shoulders and your upper back and your elbows. Maybe your fingers are even tingly right now. Those are all very normal because I'm feeling it too. All right? Contract those shoulders, elbows to the wall. Try to rotate your wrists. Make sure your low back is against the wall. I don't know why I touched my stomach. Make sure your low back is against the wall, and elbows down, elbows up, elbows down, elbows up. We don't have to do this many of them, or that many of them. This is just a warm up introduction to why we're suffering. And okay, cool, we're calling it. That's like more than 5. We're fine. All right, we're basically gonna do that loop. We're gonna do a little bit more than what we just warmed up with. We're gonna do probably 10 each of the up and down things with our legs and arms. That doesn't make any sense. We're gonna do like 10 reps of everything. We're gonna hold for like 45 seconds of everything else. All right, that's what's coming up. Whatever we did for the wall angels, just imagine we're gonna do 10 of those. Not 10 times what we just did, but like 10 reps of up and down. Trying our very best to get the elbows to the wall. All right, let's go. Come on down to the ground. Oh. Get rid of your glasses if you have those. Stick your face into the ground like this. Squish your nose. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Put your hands on the ground. Your forearms on the ground so you can rest your hands. Rest your head on them. Man, words. So hard this morning. And we're going to lift our upper bodies off the ground. We're going to lift our lower bodies off the ground. In the warm-up, we broke it down into 2 exercises. Now, we're going to combine it into one. We're going to do 10 reps. All right? So it's going to be a big jump. You ready? If you need a little bit of help lifting your chest up, you can always put your hands on the sides here and give yourself a little bit of assistance. I want you to try to use your muscles first, and then if you need a little bit of extra help, you can use your arms to push up. But, yeah, no, there's no but. Try your best with your muscles first, and at the end, if you need a little bit more, feel free to use your hands. Cool? All right. We're going to inhale, we're going to come up, we're going to exhale, we're going to come down. And somewhere in the middle, I'll tell you to hold, and you just try your best to hold there for a little bit. Come down with control, and now that you know all that, let's go. Inhale up. Exhale down. When you inhale up, you should put all of your weight basically into the tops of your hips. And come down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Whew. That's 3. Inhale up. Exhale down. Whew. That's 4. Keep going. Inhale up. Exhale down. Whew. 5. Inhale up. Exhale down. Whew. 6. We got 4 left. We're going to make them a little bit harder now. All right. We're going to inhale up. We're going to hold for a second. We're going to exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Hold. Exhale down. I think that's 8. All right. Inhale up. Hold. Hold. Exhale down. Whew. That's 9. Last one. Inhale up. Hold. Hold. Hold some more. Exhale down. Whew. That's 10. Hopefully you're feeling it now in the low back. Maybe in the glutes a little bit. And we're ready to roll over, do some glute bridges. Let's go. Glute bridges. Ugh. Once you flopped over to the other side, breathe. Let your back relax for a second, and let's get ready to go. Glute bridges. Bring your heels up to your butt. Push your hips up into the air. Adjust your feet as you need to. Flex your glutes. Flex them hard. Let's go. 45 seconds. 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36. I know you're tempted to start daydreaming. Flex those glutes. You can daydream. Just flex those glutes. Flex harder. 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Keep that nice strong line with your body. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on down. Oh, breathe, relax, sink into the floor. Melt into the floor. That's my Wizard of Oz voice. Melting, I'm melting. I don't know why that suddenly came up, but I hope you enjoyed that. Next, we're gonna move on into our core stuff. All right, we're getting rid of all the space in the low back. We're gonna bring our knees up just a little bit to help with that. We're gonna feel the core kicking in, engaging. You can push the legs out just a little bit. You can extend the arms wherever it needs to go and find a challenging position for you. 30 seconds, let's do it. 29. No, sorry, 45 seconds. Let's do it. 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, relax. Oh, man. That's crazy. All right. Well, that was our third move. What happens next, you might be wondering. We get to suffer. We get to do some wall angels. All right, let's come on back up. Exhale. We did all this work to loosen up our muscles, to chill out, get smooth and wiggly and floppy, and now your whole body is going, what's going on? And that's okay, because now you know how to get loose and wobbly and relax your joints and all that stuff for later. All right, for later. Let's do the wall angels. Low back up against the wall. Lean back, shoulders up against the wall. Elbow your enemies in the face. And then get some bonus points. Get them in the face again. And feel that suffering in your back. All right. We want you to really try to bring your elbows to the wall, touching them if you can. Rotate, 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 rotate. Bring your wrists up as high as you can. Make sure you're not doing this. Make sure you're not going. my back and my wrists are touching, but my low back is not anywhere close. I'm doing some crazy hip thrust forward. Your low back needs to be touching the wall. All right. And once you got all that suffering set up, let's move up and down. Down. And slowly come on up. Contract those shoulders. Ah, that's one. And down. And two. I want you to just try your best to maintain your elbows as close to the wall as possible. And try to bring your elbows up and down and up and down and up and down. You can slowly expand your range of motion as you struggle, experiment, distract yourself from the discomfort, and up and down. I'm gonna pretend that's like 7. I don't know how many we've done, but I feel like we want to finish. So up and down and up and down. That's 9. One more. Up and down. Okay. All right. We're done. All right. Check it out. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Fuck, 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 fuck. I don't know. Do whatever you gotta do right now to undo some of the craziness in your upper back. All right. If you're just jumping in right now, that wall angel thing that we were doing, its purpose is to contract the upper back muscles. When you slouch, when you're at your computer, when you're doing this, reading on your phone, on the train, or whatever, all these muscles in the upper back are super relaxed. And they stay relaxed, and they're always relaxed. And the chest muscles get real tight because they're always in this shortened position because your shoulders are rounded, right? So it's like, oh, we never need to be long, we never need to be strong. And once you've done that for a while, like 10 hours a day every day for the last 10 years of your life, it's going to be really hard to get the back muscle to go and kick in, all right? So if it's feeling uncomfortable right now, if it sucks, please know that is absolutely normal. And we're just trying to fight against what you do like 10 hours a day. So it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely worth trying. Cool? All right. We're gonna do a couple more rounds of that whole thing. I'm gonna check the time. Oh, it's 9:55. All right, we'll do one more round of this thing, and we'll wrap up for today. All right. I want you to come on down to the ground, and emotionally prepare for our final round. Head down on your forearms if you want. Find a nice little spot for your hips. Wiggle around, and let's get ready to contract a whole bunch of muscles. On the inhale, we're gonna lift. We're gonna hold for a second. We're gonna exhale, and we're gonna come down at the same time. Ready? Let's go. Inhale up. Hold. Exhale down. Oh, man, that's one. Inhale up. Exhale down. Oh, that's 2. All right. Enough sound effects. We're gonna be serious now, right? Inhale up. Hold. Exhale down. Whew, that's 3. Inhale up. Hold. Exhale down. Is that 4? Yeah, I think it's 4. Inhale up. Exhale down. That's 5. Halfway break because I'm tired. Chill for a second and let's continue in 3, 2, 1. Inhale up. Exhale down. That's 6. Inhale up. Exhale down. That's 7. 3 more. We're going to hold for an extra long beat in between each descent, all right? Inhale up. Hold. Exhale down. That's 8. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. That's 9. 1 more. Inhale up. Hold, 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 hold. Exhale down. That's 10. Woo! We're done with those. All right. Say goodbye. Turn over. Roll around. And let's get ready to do some glute bridges. Is that right? Yeah, glute bridges. Heels up to the butt. Contract those glutes, contract the low back a little bit, contract the hamstrings a little bit, lift your hips up into the air, and contract, contract, contract. We're holding for, let's do 60 seconds. Let's do something crazy and challenging. You can always take a break. 60, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55. Contract those glutes. Make sure they are working. 53, 52, 51, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Contract those glutes. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on down. Oh, you might need a second now. That's okay. Take it. I need a second. If you don't need a second, too bad. Wait. And let's get ready to get into some core exercises. And by exercises, I mean we're just doing one. Whew! Let's go. Get rid of that space for the low back. Bring your knees up a little bit to help with that if you need to. And let's get ready. We're going to contract the core nice and tight. All right? Push your legs out forward as much as you can control, as much as you want. And lift your upper body as much as you want. However much suffering you're ready to do it. Ready? Let's go. Can we do a minute? Now let's stick with 45. 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. Make sure to keep breathing. Don't hold your breath, but also contract those muscles. 17, 16, 15, which means you might have to breathe really shallow. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Make sure your low back is on the wall or on the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, relax. Breathe. Take big, huge breaths now because you don't have to breathe shallow. And wow, that was intense. I'm glad I didn't do a minute. But if you want to do a minute next time, let me know. I'll try. All right, all right. That was the last of all those moves. We gotta do some wall angels, and we'll be ready to wrap up. All right. Ugh. Come on back into standing, and stick your low back up against the wall. Elbow the wall. Rotate your arms so that your wrists are coming up to the wall. Feel the crazy contraction in the back, your upper back. And let's go. Pump those arms down and up. Try your bestest. And down. And up. 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 And if this becomes more musical, does it become more fun? I don't think so, but maybe emotionally, just a little tiny bit better. All right, elbows again, almost basically touching the wall. Wrists trying their bestest to get there too. Contract those muscles in the upper back. Your low back is still against the wall. I don't know how many of these we've done, but we're only aiming for 10. So let's pretend this is 7. Down and up, 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 down and up, 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 up. That's 8. And down and up, 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 up. That's 9. Down and up, 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 up. That's 10. Calling it there. Boom. Hopefully, your shoulders are feeling it, and you can now try your best to relax all those upper back muscles. you can go right back into slouching. But maybe what you really want to do is the opposite. Maybe you want to just keep contracting those muscles for as long as possible. So, when you have some passive tension in your shoulders, right? That is when you're going to be able to hold that posture in that way, right? It's just the amount of passive contraction. It's like when somebody walks around with a six pack, there's just passive contraction in the abs, or when the biceps are nice and toned, it's passive contraction in the arms, right? And they're just naturally hanging out, resting in a position where they're like slightly flexing. That's basically what we want for our upper back, so that it can undo some of this and get you a little bit of this. That's it. That's everything. That's the whole show. Cool. All right. I'm sorry. Is there anything else you need to know? We got another live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're doing some side splits and hip mobility. So very different from this show. This one was all about gently starting your day, moving your joints around, trying to wake up, get smooth, feel good, and then we worked on some back posture and flexing the glutes and stuff like that to help stand nice and tall and strong, to make your glutes work for you, to help undo, this thing that we are all doing. And if you like that, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe. This type of live happens only on the weekend mornings. But the side splits, those happen at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. That is 11 hours from now, in case you are not in the Eastern time zone. Let's see. What else? I make a bunch of other content. Most of it is just about trying to introduce a little bit of movement into your life. It doesn't have to be a crazy workout. It doesn't have to be insane. You don't have to like beat yourself up. You don't have to be sweating or anything. If you got 2 minutes, you're waiting for coffee to come out the machine. If you're waiting for, the microwave. I don't know. If you're waiting for the microwave to heat up your food with magic arm powers, and you're waiting for your pasta to soften in the pot because you're boiling some water, you got a couple minutes. It's a perfect time to get a little tiny bit of gentle movement. All right. 2 minutes of any movement is a ton, and it would be absolutely crazy. This is called a Cossack switch, and is a movement we use in our evening lives when we do hip mobility and side splits. And if you did 2 minutes of these, it would just be a crazy movement, right? You get crazy engagement in a lot of different muscles. You're working on your balance, you're working on a whole bunch of stuff all at the same time. And so, long ramble short. Don't sleep on those 2 minutes. All right, they add up. They're super useful, and they help you feel better once you've done the workout. All right. I say workout, but I really mean to say like movement. Movement is a natural part of how we live life. If you add a little bit in, you have a little bit of fun, you try some new things, you do a little dance even, that all counts as movement. You don't have to just do calf raises, you don't have to just do squats, you don't have to do lunges and all the other lower body stuff that I typically explain and go, hey, look, you can squeeze 2 minutes of these in. You got something cool that you want to learn. If you've been really trying to get good at pull-ups, if you do half of the pull-ups you're able to do and do this pretty often, a couple times a day, every time you go to the bathroom, every time you wash your hands, every time you take a snack out of the fridge, there's a technique called greasing the groove. It's basically training your brain to be really efficient at a movement, and you don't need that many reps. If you can only do 10 pull-ups, 5 pull-ups, 10 times across the day. Whenever you feel perfectly rested, just like, I'm just going to whip out 5. Boom, 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 boom. And that gets you really good and really efficient at movement. And that's a wonderful thing. All right. So that was a little bit of a tangent. I'm not sure where I was going with this, but move more, have fun, do cool things, and enjoy that your body is awesome. So what else? Movement. Told you about that. We got. I'm probably gonna jump on to another live at some point. I'm gonna go to the park. I'm gonna bring the soccer ball. I'm gonna show off the skills that I've refined over the last couple of sessions in the park. At some point today. I don't know when that is, but it'll be before the World Cup. Because I gotta go to my friend's house to watch the World Cup. So that'll probably be in a couple hours after breakfast, after some digestion, and that might be soon. All right. Anything else that you need to know? Anything else? That's everything. All right, let's look at the chat real quick and see if there's anything I need to address, and then we'll wrap up for today. All right. if you're still here, if you're leaving, you're about to hop off, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I hope you have a great time. If you're watching the World Cup, you know, cheer for the right team. I'm just kidding. There's no right team. I don't care. I'm American. We don't care about soccer. I'm just kidding. All right. So I'll look at some chat. Over on YouTube, Yildiz says hello. Hello, hello. Hassan says hello. Queen RR says good morning. Thank you everybody for coming in. Good evening to people who are good evening and good morning to me. Thank you, thank you. And we got a big compliment saying I got beautiful legs. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. I'm gonna scroll up over on TikTok real quick and see what we got going on. We got people following the live. We got people spamming for their own form of support. And let's see. KT Pie says that's a new stretch for me. Thanks. Amazing. I don't know what was the stretch, but if it was the ankles or the knees. Oh, but we were doing joint warm-ups. Amazing. Good. Those are really good for just understanding what your joints are capable of. All right. So working through that range of motion is important because your joints are designed to be able to do that. And if you've never thought about that movement, you've never used it before, maybe you're not going to be so good at it. But it's all part of the game. Just like how I was talking about, there's a technique called greasing the groove where you do a bunch of reps, but like randomly interspersed throughout the day, and it's never so many that you're like struggling with them. You're just whipping a couple out here and there. When you put in the reps, your brain gets really good at doing the thing efficiently. And when you're starting something brand new, oftentimes your brain just has no idea how to make it work. It's just trying its best to mimic the position that you think you want. And that is oftentimes when you're a beginner and you start like shaking, you're like, it's because your body just has no idea which muscles it's supposed to be firing and what it's supposed to be doing. And over time, as your brain gets more and more comfortable with the movement, as you do it more and more, your brain will be like, oh, okay, I got this, no problem. This is easy. And then you start looking real smooth. You'll look like a professional. You got grace, finesse, beauty, all that good stuff. And yeah, so don't worry about struggling with new moves. That is normal. Lois says, I agree. I hear popping too. That popping, that clicking, more or less should be fine. If it's not causing pain, it should be okay. But if your ankles are popping when you're doing ankle circles and they're making lots of sounds and you're like, oh, and then you get a little uncomfortable, you get a little scared, and you put your weight on it, that might not be so good, all right? Because your ankle just popped and then you put a whole bunch of pressure on it because you got scared. That might be uncomfortable. But everything else, if it's making a little bit of clackety sound, cracking sound, popping sound, for the most part, if you're not feeling pain, it should be okay, all right? If something feels really weird, you can try and be a little bit more gentle to it. All right. For example, the wrist circles. When we're really trying really hard, I don't know if you can hear. I can make my wrists make lots of sounds. But I can also do a much gentler version where they don't really make any sounds at all. You probably can't hear when I'm talking, so I'll shut up for a second. No sound. Lots of sound. All right, maybe not this ear. Which ear is this? That is the YouTube ear. All right, maybe it's just one wrist that makes a lot of sound. I can't tell because I got earbuds in, so I can barely hear the sounds that my wrists are making. Okay, anyways, that should more or less apply to the rest of your joints too. I'd keep on doing the wrist because it's easiest to demonstrate and it's easiest to position in the camera without having to stand back up. Adrian Bailey says, back keeps coming off the wall, need to work on core. That is okay, right? You're just trying to balance a whole bunch of different muscles, trying to do a whole bunch of complicated things at the same time. When you're doing the wall angels, however, do focus on keeping the back on the wall because we're trying to get this rotation in the shoulder, right? We're trying to get the back to get into this nice alignment. So if you take your back off the wall, you get that nice bend right here, and then you're doing this, you're losing part of the important part of the movement, right? So the wrists are always going to be the hardest part. Everything else, lock it in, and then you can work out that little bit right there. Cool. All right. Let's see. What else we got? Adrian says that was great. I love the foot scoot struggle with my feet. Oh wait, I don't even know what we're talking about. No, I'm confused. Great sunshine is what time you on in the morning. The foot scoots are really cool. If you added that into your 2 minutes of movement here and there while you're waiting for your coffee to start or whatever, that would be crazy. All right. Most of us spend most of our time in shoes, and our toes are all bunched up in our sneakers or flats or dress shoes or whatever it is, and they tend not to be very good at very many things because all you've done is stick them in a cast for forever, right? Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours a day. So if you can, absolutely try cool things with your feet. All right, your feet are designed to be very similar to your hands in terms of dexterity that it could be capable of, right? Cleaning the floor with a rag, use your feet instead of your hands. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up and I can't think of anything. Pick stuff up off the floor with your toesies and experiment with what your feet can do, right? If you want to, you can try crazy things eventually, maybe not right away, but you can try crazy things like putting all the weight on your big toe, doing calf raises to an extreme angle. That's probably actually not actually good for your toes. So don't actually train them for seriously because ballerinas have all sorts of messed up feet as well, right? So like train your toes, but you don't have to train them in a crazy way. It's just for fun. Okay. And for most people, every time you see an athlete doing something, right? Like a real athlete who does it for a living, remember they do it for a living, all right? So you don't have to get into that level, that intensity of performance. You don't have to practice and train like them necessarily to still be able to move really well. All right. Crazy toe stuff, like actually standing and resting on your toes, that might be moving into the realm of craziness. But movement, clenching the toe, making fists with your feet, that should be very, very normal. That should be very capable. All right. We had a question come in from Create Sunshine. I don't know when this came in, but it says, or it asked, what time are you on in the mornings? On the weekends, on Saturday and Sunday mornings, I'm on at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. It is currently 10:14 a.m. Eastern Time, and so we started an hour and 14 minutes ago. That is our Saturday and Sunday morning times. We don't have a morning live because I have a day job throughout the week. But we do have that evening live at 9 p.m. Eastern, which, oh man, 10 hours and 45 minutes from now. What else? True Blue answered the question. Great. Thank you. And then Create Sunshine, thank True Blue. Amazing. And sending good vibes in the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the help, True Blue. Adrian says, that's nice. Woo! I interpreted that woo as not woo as woo. So if that interpretation was wrong, let me know. We got low. My body was completely shaken on that one. Absolutely, that is completely normal. Cherry says low wall angels, maybe wall devils. Yes, somebody wrote evil angels. Exactly, exactly. They are not nice. They are not fun at all. But hopefully, they force you to contract some of those muscles that you're not using. All right. We got people talking about emotionally preparing. We got 60 and question marks. I'm so confused. I have no. Oh, 60 seconds. Yes, absolutely. We got to experiment, right? We can't keep the show the same every single day. We got to challenge ourselves. And if you've been here for a life a bunch of times, like you have, True Blue, 60 seconds. It's just 60 seconds. Right? What else? Sloan says, I was like, I don't think we did this before. No, we definitely did not. I just threw it in because why not? And then I immediately regretted it, and I made sure we didn't do 60 seconds ever again for the rest of the show. So, little itty bitty challenges as we go. All right, then we got a whole bunch of thank yous. I think I've seen most of these. Let's wrap up. Adrian says, very grateful I found you. Oh, Adrian says, just finished PT for chronic bilateral tendonitis in the shoulders. Haven't seen the angels until today. Bilateral tendonitis in shoulders. That's crazy. The shoulders are super complicated, so just you saying that, I have absolutely no idea what that means, other than that it was on both sides and your shoulders were messed up. Uh, because you might know this, there's like 16 muscles that connect into your shoulder blades to help them move. So the shoulders are crazy, man. That chunk of boniness back here, that thing right here, is literally floating, and a whole bunch of different muscles just do all sorts of craziness to keep it controlled. It's not, I mean, it's crazy to me that we as a species can figure out how to move 16 muscles at the same time and then just like make it look smooth because we're just lifting our arms up and down. That in and of itself is crazy. So, shoulder issues are very, very common, especially when we stop using a bunch of range of motion and we get more and more stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm sorry to hear about your need for PT, but I'm glad that you wrapped up PT. Hopefully you're moving a little bit better, and now you get to suffer through some wall angels. Oh man, so worthwhile. Adrian says she's very grateful for having found the life. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. And we got, I feel so much lighter, Ken. That was awesome. I forgot the username to this emoji, and I'm gonna check it again. It is etie99996. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I'm glad you're feeling light. That is the goal. The goal is to make sure you got little tiny tools that you can incorporate into your regular life, right? We call it movement. Keep on telling you to do a whole bunch of movement, but that's all we did. We did some really gentle movement to help move the spine, move the wrists, move the hips, move the legs, move the neck, and then we did a little bit of exercise to help loosen up the stiffness that often happens when we're stuck in a position for a while. Whether that's sleeping and just resting, we'll wake up, we'll find that we're a little stiff, right? Whether that's sitting at a desk doing work or something, it's still early in the morning if you're U.S. based, but maybe you start your day at 5 a.m. You're one of those people, and now you've already done 4 hours of work by the time you started jumping into this lab. That is a lot of time to get real stiff, get real uncomfortable, and need a little bit of movement. All right, so those 2 minutes interspersed throughout your day. You're going to go pee, go do something. All right. Lunge all the way to the bathroom when you pee. If you're in a corporate environment, that will be entertaining for everybody involved. So just get some movement, get some exercise. All right. Let's see. Adrian says checks out. Just tried it. My ankles always do that when I walk. Oh, okay. Um, I've also had weird phases with my ankles. In one year, I rolled my ankle twice, and then I don't think I've rolled it ever since. I'm not sure that I started doing anything to train my ankles, so I'm surprised that I hadn't continued to roll my ankle. Yeah, because I rolled it twice in one year, and that was a brutal year. But even before that, actually, no, I distinctly remember an experience in fifth grade where I asked my teacher, "Does your ankle crack?" And then I had her demonstrate that her ankle does not crack and that I just had my ankle crack all the time. And I was like, huh, strange. And I have this distinct memory because I remember having, a retrospective going, why would I ask my teacher? That was so strange. She paused everything to go like lift her foot and go, no, I don't think I have that. And I was like, oh, I'm the weirdo. 10-year-old me. All right. Anyways, that was a long time ago. That was a fun memory to relive. Yo, I don't know. If your ankles are making noises, if your joints are making noises, number of reasons that could be happening. It's got to be more than I could possibly know, or am going to invest the time to know enough about. So, as long as it doesn't cause pain, though, you should be okay. And keep moving. Chances are, getting really good at that movement, getting efficient at the movement is going to help undo some of the weird funkiness in that joint. And that's literally what PT is getting efficient at getting your muscles to work in a new way, right? So I'm gonna roll and I'm gonna wrap up right now. Sloth says bye, had a great time. Adrian says low. It's been rough, but we're good. Building muscle between scapula and all on the back and working on core. Amazing. From overuse. Don't apologize. It's fine. Yay, I'm pumped actually. Amazing. 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 I'm really happy to hear that you had some issues, you got some professional help, and you're working on it. It's hard. It's not easy at all. There's a lot of people who, go to PT and they don't actually end up training very much or efficiently or effectively, and then they get stuck in a cycle of discomfort and a cycle of pain, and they just can't get out of it. So I'm proud of you for getting the exercise done, and I'm proud of you for jumping on to more exercise with me. All right. Oh, it's 10:20. We've been running for about 80 minutes. It's time for me to go. I gotta go eat food. I gotta go prepare. I gotta go digest so that we can go do some soccer tricks later. All right. For Ken, Farhat says this. I don't know what that means, but we are ready to wrap. Oh, nice. Bebe says, have a great day. Thank you. Adrian says, thank you for the encouragement. You're very welcome. You're inspirational for me too. Because, I need motivation to come in and show up every single day and suffer with you guys. So when I see people taking it seriously, crushing the workout, I'm just kidding. I'm not that intense. It helps me to get more excited, get more energized, get revitalized to move a little bit more too. All right. I try to remember to take my own advice sometimes, and having other people alongside me doing the exercises really helps. All right. That's it. Enough rambling. Go have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the World Cup and festivities. Don't gamble too much, and make sure to stay hydrated. Drink those electrolytes. Have fun. And I hope to see you in a little bit. We got the next live at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're doing side splits and hip mobility. If you don't like that, then the next time we do some of this is next weekend. So set a calendar invite or something, because I don't know if YouTube or TikTok will actually notify you. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tonight. I'll see you some other time this week. Cool? All right. Closing out. Hit follow, hit subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.